His Olympia wins, those weren't his like
Best.
best looks. Like he was
No.
prime.
What's up guys, I'm welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness. So let's start this video with Andrew Jacked as he hits that 7 weeks out mark from this upcoming Arnold. Now that is a loosely fitted shirt that Andrew is wearing in his recent YouTube video, and still his abs are popping out of that like crazy. That just shows you how insanely developed Andrew's abs are. Now only one guy in the men's open class has better abs than Andrew Jacked, and that is the Persian wolf, Hadi Choopan. Now there is something about Andrew that just makes him so damn unique, and that unfulfilled potential. That is why he gets so much respect and the recognition even from his fellow competitors. Like for instance Nick Walker. And we have to keep in mind Nick has competed against all the top guys, all the top Olympians, including the likes of Big Ramy. But he never passed such comments about anyone else other than Andrew. And the entire world of bodybuilding had the same sentiments about Andrew after watching him clean house at last year's Texas Pro. And just because he just showed up so far off at the Olympia last year, he kind of lost his hype.
I always thought that way until you see Andrew Jacked in person.
Cute. It's like a house.
And he was probably one of the first people I was like, damn, that's a big boy. Like, that looks like an action figure that just doesn't move, you know?
You never saw Ronnie?
Because there will always be a big question mark that whether Andrew is gonna be in shape, especially at the Olympia. And that, of course, is based on his own track record. Now, the head judge Steve Weinberger said that Samson, along with Andrew, these guys have the most potential in the men's open class right now. And nobody knows what's gonna happen if Andrew actually puts it all together for this upcoming Arnold. Now, just because Andrew is of the same height as Samson, there is a theory that he has the best shot of beating Samson Dauda. Obviously, if he comes in 100% and also improved, especially improved on that Texas Pro package, because that's what needed from him in order to beat a guy like Samson Dauda. Even now, the former 2 times Olympia champion Big Ramy posts a throwback picture, and we as fans get to appreciate his physique a lot more compared to the times when he was actively competing, because people just always expected that Big Ramy will come in with that same quality as the legend Phil Heath, and Phil was the reigning champion at that time, without realizing that Big Ramy never had those genetics, those gifts of Phil Heath.
Like hands down, that is the freakiest guy I've ever seen. Like biggest.
That would be Ramy in Ramy 2015 came to my room at the Arnold and posed, and I didn't really even know what I was looking at. Like, I didn't know if he was fat because there was just so much to look
Muscle.
at. Yeah, like the rolling pec stood on the side chest and the quad breath, you know.
Now, don't get me wrong, Big Ramy was also gifted, but in other aspects. Most noticeable was the size he brought to the stage, especially back in 2015. And here we have Chris Aceto, who has worked with so many greats of this game, like Jay Cutler, like Big Ramy, Paul Dillette, and so many others. And he referred to Big Ramy as the most outrageous physiques in person out of all the guys he has worked with over the years.
Like 14 and 15 was a sight to behold, you know. Even go dial it back to like 13 when
When he won New York.
New York.
when he
Yeah.
went to New York,
Remember
he had the midsection back then that was just small waist, cannonball delts. You know, he was the freakiest I think we've seen in.
And I think we can all agree that Paul Dillette was a genetic phenomenon, like nobody else, especially in that time. Now that kind of shoulder width, with that kind of small waistline, that is still unprecedented even to this day in the entire bodybuilding history. Now one can only imagine how high Paul would have placed if he had a better back. And Big Ramy, on the other hand, maybe he took a lot more time to figure out this winning formula. And when that finally happened, his back and his triceps, they started melting, and he could only win 2 send-outs. Now it is highly unlikely that Big Ramy will ever come back and compete one more time, because he has been away from the stage for almost 2 years now. But I have got to say the man has already cemented his legacy.
His Olympia wins, those weren't his like
best
looks. Like he was
No.
prime.
Next up, we have a physique update of one of the biggest guys, who is gonna be in this year's Arnold Classic lineup in Classic Physique, Matt Greggo, the training partner of Derek Lunsford. Now you look at his physique and legit wonder, how does he even make that weight cutoff? But then again, he works with a coach like Chris Acito, who, if you guys not remember, once helped Regan Grimes make that weight cutoff in Classic Physique. He helped him fit into that category. And Regan, we all know, was just never meant for that division. Now placing top 10 for the very first time in the Olympia last year, that certainly fired up Matt Greggo more than ever, and he will be able to present his physique a lot better at this upcoming Arnold, since he is also working with Chris Cormier to help him in posing and presentation. Now him and Wesley Vizers, they are gonna be two of the biggest guys on that stage in about 7 weeks time. Now nobody is really talking about him, but he can surely be a very dangerous competitor. There is no denying the fact that the man is built like an open bodybuilder. And it's just a matter of time until Greggo reaches that point where making that classic physique weight cutoff, that is gonna become literally impossible for him, because his body just wants to grow. But until then, he is gonna rock that classic physique stage, and is always in a spectacular condition. Now that coupled with that unbelievable size that he brings to the stage, and when he has some very powerful shots like the front lat spread, he is legit looking at a top 4 place at this upcoming Arnold. Next up, we have the physique update of the best men's physique athlete to have ever stepped on the Olympia stage, Jeremy Buendia, going for his final run as a competitor in 2025. Now you like him or you hate him, but you cannot ignore the fact that winning 4 Olympia titles in a row, that just makes you a very special athlete in any division for that matter. And Jeremy also played a big role in the growth of the men's physique division. Now that things are good between him and his coach Hani Rambod, his former coach, it would have been so exciting if Jeremy ended his career with Hani Rambod, prepping for one last show with him. But Hani Rambod is now retired. Initially the plan for Jeremy was to return to this year's Arnold stage and present a better package than what he delivered at the Olympia 2023, and he placed 8th at that show. But everything wasn't going as ideal as it should have been, especially to compete in the second biggest bodybuilding show of the year. Now Jeremy is 34 years old, and he obviously had some injuries during his long career, and he can just no longer train the way he used to when he was young and in his prime. And he has obviously seen a lot of injuries over the years, especially the last year when he tore his Achilles tendon, not once but twice back to back. And that is one of the reasons why he did not do the Olympia last year. And that is why he needs to be very realistic about his expectations for this upcoming 2025 season, if he is in fact doing the Olympia this year. Now obviously he is qualified for life as he is a former Olympia champion, but when he made his comeback in 2023, he was expecting to win number 5, which I have got to say was quite unrealistic, because first of all, you are making a comeback after almost 5 years, and on top of that, if you cannot train at your 100%, you just cannot beat the young blood and all that new up-and-coming talent. For instance, a guy like Ali Bilal, who placed 2nd behind Ryan Terry in a very close contest at the Olympia last year. Still, we are very much looking forward to Jeremy Buendia grace the stage for one final time as a competitor. Certainly the best men's physique athlete ever since this division was created. So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.